Hello, everyone. I'm Mr. Macabre, and welcome back to my movie library. I know it's kind of funny. We're going to mostly be talking about music today, but it is movie related. I did pick up a number of soundtracks, and I'm really happy about it. I just wanted to go ahead and show it to you. I will hopefully by next week. I'm hoping because just recently, Lorber had a sale, and boy, did I hit hard. I went after it. I bought I believe it's like 15 movies that I bought from them. Some of them even have like 2 movies on there. So yeah, so I'm going to be looking forward to getting that in the next week. But anyway, so yeah, I just thought I'd go ahead and show you guys what I picked up. Hopefully, if you're a fan of movie soundtracks, I got 3 vinyl and it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 CDs. So hopefully you guys will come along for the ride and let me show you what I got. I did pick this up today. This is a classic Disney cartoon I didn't have, and I've been meaning to get around to getting it. So now I finally have it in my collection. I picked up The Great Mouse Detective. So yeah, fun movie. You got Vincent Price as the villain. I remember this. Oh wow. Yeah, I found it for a good price, and so I jumped on it. And now finally glad to add it to my my Disney cartoon collection. So yeah, really cool. Pretty good shape and everything else. Of course, I replaced it. You guys know me. I prefer the black Blu-ray cases, so that's just my taste. But anyway, so yeah, so pick this up. Plan to watch it. That's the reason why it's not closed yet, because I'm going to get ready to watch it here in just a little bit. But yeah, revisit this bad boy. So anyway, The Great Mouse Detective. So happy to finally pick that up. This here, it is kind of music related, but kind of music, but it is a DVD. We have Britney Spears Live, the Femme Fatale tour, and what can I say? Britney's one of my dream girls. She's one of my fantasies, and I love me some Britney, and what can I say? Just this was $4.99. So anyway, see if we can open that up. And interesting little case here for a DVD, but yeah, I mean it's a good shape. It's a little smudged. I had to clean it off, but yeah, so. Kind of cool. Like I said, I kind of think it's kind of cool putting this unique case, so happy to have that. So there we go. Britney Spears. It's Britney, watch! If you remember the South Park episode. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into the CDs first. And yeah, I found some of these, and it's kind of weird. I just did a video recently about my vinyl collection, and don't get me wrong, I do love vinyl. But there is something about CDs I absolutely love. I've always loved the CD format, and I bought lots of CDs. I got way more CDs than I do records. And also, too, just, I also love the fact that, with, CDs, I can take the disc, load it into my computer, rip the CD to my computer, then I can download it. I can put it onto the memory card of my tablet so I can listen to it if I want, or on my phone, or something like that. So, so that way, yeah, I can have my music to take around and listen if I want to. So, yeah, so that's just one of the many reasons why I love CDs. And also, too, it does help that they are way more cost effective. But anyway, so I picked up 5 CDs, and these are all soundtracks. And really glad to have these. First of all, I got the Dark Knight soundtrack, $6.99. But yeah, I love these soundtracks. I need to get the other 2, Dark Knight Rises, and I do want to have all 3 of the Nolan trilogy soundtracks. So yeah, but I saw this one, couldn't help it, I had to pick it up, and really glad to have it. Dark Knight definitely, easily gotta probably be my favorite Batman movie. The amazing, gone but not forgotten Heath Ledger as the Joker. So, there you go. So, got the soundtrack for The Dark Knight. Happy about that. Picked this up. This one surprised me. They had the record, but the record was almost 40, and I was like, I kind of do, I was like, as much as I would love to have this on vinyl, I'm going to go ahead and get this on CD for now, so that way I can, like I said, I can rip the disc and listen to it on my devices, but I got the soundtrack for Deadpool and Wolverine. So it's really cool. A lot of really great songs on here. The only thing that surprises me is that No Like a Prayer, like the main song of the movie, the song that they used to kind of really amp up this movie and everything else, Like a Prayer, and it's the one song that's not on the soundtrack. How crazy is that? I mean, you got the other one. You got Bye Bye Bye. You got, let's see here, The Power of Love. You got, I'm With You. Just all this stuff, man. You got all these songs on here, but you don't have Like a Prayer. I think that's interesting that the main song from the movie is the one that's not on the soundtrack. But anyway, great movie, still a great soundtrack. So many amazing, wonderful songs to listen to. Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Let me see something here. Yeah, Lady in Red. That's on here too. Okay. I'm With You. Made Me Lose Control. Yeah. I mean, all great songs on here, but just, like I say, it's just weird that the one song that they really used for this movie is not on there. Anyway, I'm repeating myself. It's time to move on. All right. Now, the first one I have on vinyl, but since I picked up all three of these in one go, I got greedy, and I love these movies so much, and the music I love so much, and just the idea of just, I know that they're on vinyl, but I just couldn't help it. I got greedy, and I just, I could get these now, and so I jumped on these. I got, I got Indiana Jones soundtracks. I've got Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. So, like I said, I know these are on vinyl, but, I couldn't help it. I got greedy, and besides, now that I think about it, I was like, waiting to see if they're even still available. Might give me something to ask for Christmas when friends and family are like, hey, what do you want for Christmas? Like, well, it's like, these on vinyl would be, pretty good. So we got Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Amazing movie. I know a lot of people don't really care for this movie. I love this movie. I just, it's like, man, it drove me nuts because I remember being a kid and the movie was coming out in theaters. And this was around the whole thing about, this was the movie that started kind of the PG-13 rating because that was the thing, that the movie was considered too intense and like too horrific and stuff like that. It was just too much to let little kids go and see it. And I remember I loved Raiders of the Lost Ark so much, and I so badly wanted to go see Temple of Doom. It was the movie, and that was the bad part. It was one of those movies like, and just like no matter what, you couldn't get in to see this movie, if you were a kid, So, and I think this is the movie that kind of got Spielberg to have to get with the MPAA and everything, and this is what kind of started the the PG-13 rating. But I do have this, I do have Raiders. That was the only one they didn't have. If they had it, I would have jumped on that one too, but they didn't have it. But I do have Raiders of the Lost Ark on vinyl. I have that one. But Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom on CD, still great music. I love it to death. So yeah, Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So still great music, great movie, brilliant film. I mean, just to me, with the exception of Dial of Destiny, okay, to me the first four movies are, awesome. I know a lot of people can't stand Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That movie never bothered me, to be truthfully honest with you. I never minded Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It's like, it is, out of the four, it's the weakest one out of the first four, but still, it's like I can take, I could take Kingdom of the Crystal Skull any day over Dial of Destiny. Okay, Dial of Destiny, never. I never want to see that. So anyway, so yeah, but Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, I can't recommend this enough. Just to have the soundtrack is beyond amazing to me. I love the movies, love the music, so now to have it. And the last of the CDs, I think you've kind of already guessed where we're going. It's like, yes, I did pick it up. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So it's still John Williams, and there you go. I hope when I'm 65, I can move around as good as he did in this movie, But, yeah, just, I know a lot of people don't like this movie. I do. I think it's fun. I think some of the action set pieces are pretty fun. I mean, yeah, I get it. It's like, oh, the part with the refrigerator and, the part with Shia LaBeouf's character, swinging with the monkeys and all that kind of stuff. It was silly. And, yeah, it had its lackluster moments. I'm not going to deny that. But, man, oh man, just, I love, just so much of the action scenes and everything else, like the part where, Mutt and Indy are trying to get away from the agents, and like they're pulling him off the bike and pulling him into the car and getting out of the car and all that. Man, that was just such a fun, wonderful action scene to watch and everything. And just, yeah, it was just so much fun to watch. And to have Karen Allen come back as Marion, are you kidding me? That was awesome. Cate Blanchett, I think she did great as a villain and stuff. And also the amazing thing is, it's like, I remember it was big because, kind of the opening scene of the movie, they shot that in Deming, New Mexico. And my brother and I, we were living there at the time when they were filming. So you're probably like, well, that's probably why you like it. You were biased, It's like because they were shooting part of the movie there. And it was amazing. It was an interesting time because, like our town was so small and just not really much of anything going on there. And to have such a big movie come in to have, a part of their production being shot in our town. And then a little bit later on, they did some work with Batman v Superman, and I believe Creed 2 was part of that was filmed there and stuff like that. So yeah, we had some movie productions in that little town. But it was, oh man, it's like we were all psyched. My brother and I were working at the local grocery store, and it was amazing. We would come in there at night, and they would have all these shopping carts full of groceries and stuff like that, and and they were like, yeah, don't mess with those shopping carts because that belongs to the Indiana Jones crew. And so we were all just kind of like, we didn't mess with it. We didn't, we were just going to look. It's like, oh wow, look at all this. Like you kind of wonder, like, is this, like who, is Harrison Ford going to eat this? Is this Steven Spielberg's favorite drink? It was just, everybody was so psyched about it. It's like, oh man, what is it? What are they going to make? What kind of food are they going to cook for the cast and crew and all that kind of stuff? And is any of this gonna, is George Lucas going to eat or drink any of this stuff? So I mean, it was just. Everybody was just psyched about it, and so it was a fun time. So yeah, you might say I'm probably might be a little bit biased, but still, you know what? I still enjoyed the film. Yeah, out of the first 4 movies, it is the weakest one, but you know what? Like I said, I'll take Crystal Skull over Dial of Destiny any day of the week. To me, it still feels like an Indiana Jones movie. It feels like, I could still have some fun with it. I can get some entertainment and enjoyment out of it. So, yeah. So, anyway, there you go. So, yeah. So, nice to have all these. I'm going to try to see if I can get the CD soundtrack for Raiders. So, I have all 4 of them. But, great movies. Great soundtrack. John Williams. What can you say? And we're going to get back to John Williams in just a minute. As a matter of fact, I'm going to save that bad boy for last. Now I got my 3 vinyls here, and all 3 of them are soundtracks, and I can't believe it. These are used. None of them are brand new. These are all used, and I can't believe I got a good deal on them. And they were a little dusty. Some of them got a little wear and tear on them, but by God, they still play. I can still listen to them, and that's great. So the first one is Stand By Me. And as you can see, I got it for $4.99. But great, love Stand By Me. Amazing movie, amazing soundtrack, awesome, just I have it on CD, but to have it on vinyl, to me that's kind of the thing, especially like, taking the sticker off. But that to me is like, it just seems right. You know what I mean? To take, for these when you're talking about soundtracks that have like the golden oldies on there and stuff, I mean, you got Every Day, Buddy Holly, Stand By Me, Benny King, Great Balls of Fire, Jerry Lee Lewis, on and on. It's like, to me, it feels like vinyl is the way you should be listening to this kind of songs. And it's the way, when I was a kid, that's how we listened to them. It's like my parents had, one of those big, huge oak, counter like, stereos, had the record player and the 8-track in it and everything. We, hours on end, we would be listening to music and stuff like that. It was great. So it just kind of does. It feels like, for me personally, it feels like records should be kind of the way you listen to the great golden oldies. And so there you go. It's just your standard kind of black vinyl. But I do believe this is kind of, that looks like the old, what's the thing? I'm not really sure. I think this is kind of the original vinyl It just does say 1986, so I kind of believe this is the original vinyl. But yeah, it was a little dirty and all that stuff, so I had to clean up a little bit. But you know, I got it, and it's mine now. And now we're going to protect our baby here. Where's the top? There we go. Yep. You can see we're going to go ahead and we're going to sleeve this bad boy. Get it nice and protected so we can add it to the music library. There we go. Ah, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Nice and sweet. There we go. So nice to finally have the soundtrack, the vinyl soundtrack of Stand By Me to add to my collection. So I'm very, very happy. And for $5, hell, you can't beat that. So there we go. There's that. Next one we have, this is a movie I remember seeing in theaters. It does surprise me there's actually only 2 songs on here, and the rest of it is the music score. Never realized that, but I got for $5 also, I got the soundtrack for Risky Business. There you go, see, $5. And of course, whoa, the infamous Tom Cruise, dancing to Old Time Rock and Roll. That song is on here, so it's In the Air Tonight. No, actually, okay, there's a couple of other songs on here. Mannish Boy, Muddy Waters, The Pump, Jeff Beck, Journey, After the Fall. Okay, so there are other songs in here. Prince, DMSR. Okay, so my bad. So I thought it was just 2 songs and the rest of it was all the music score, but of course I would have preferred if it was Rebecca De Mornay on here. It's like, I think that was one of the things, take the sticker off here now. That was one of the things I was like, I remember we went to go see this movie in the theater when I was a kid. And honestly, to me, like, Rebecca De Mornay's entrance into the film easily has to be one of the most, like, as a boy getting ready to hit into puberty, I was just, like, my jaw hit the floor. It's like, she was the most beautiful, dazzling woman I had ever seen at that point. She just really, really just knocked me for a loop the first time I saw her, and I obviously that was the point, it's like her entrance into the film was supposed to be this, very sensual kind of, just really take your breath away kind of moment, and it works, and so I pretty much have always had a, crush on Rebecca De Mornay from that moment on, and there you go. It's interesting though, but here we go, got red on one side, green on the other. So that must mean this is a Christmas album, I'm guessing. So we're going to put that in there. But yeah, same thing. I had a couple of light scratches on it, but nothing that hurt it when I play. So still happy to have it, for $5. And now we're going to sleeve this bad boy up too with the rest of them. So nice. Of course, great song. Easily one of the biggest, most memorable songs of the 1980s was, Old Time Rock and Roll by Bob Seger. So there we go. Yeah. Happy to have that. Risky Business on vinyl. So cool. Cool. Oh. And it is nice, though. I have some of the Tangerine Dream score on here. So there you go. All right, here we go. Last but definitely not least, this is an interesting one. I think that this is back from 1977 for when it first came out, because it says copyright 1977. We have Star Wars, and you can tell like this is like one of the first, definitely one of the first, if not the first pressings of the record. Now, it says $14.99 there, but because I built up some bonus points, I was actually able to get it for half off. So instead of $15, it was about $7.50 for this one. And, I was like, man, to finally get, of course, it had to take had to take a little bit off there, didn't it? Get like a black marker, see if I can fill that in after a while. But anyway, so yeah, there we go. Some Darth Vader on the back here. You open up, it's a nice gatefold. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, this record's definitely got some history to it. It's like, but I'm surprised though, I was actually able to, I was actually able to, clean it up and everything, and it plays. Here you go. 20th Century Records. So the thing I think is interesting about this, though, is like, I don't know if you can see it or not, but, if you see on there, it says side 2, and then side 3. Okay, it says that on there. Hang on a second. This is even more interesting. Give me just a second to fix this. Of course, you're going to be difficult now, aren't you? Fix that in a minute. Okay. But now we take this one. Okay. Side 1. Side 4. You don't see that very often, do you? I thought that was kind of crazy that they do it like that. I don't know if it was just labeled improperly or what the situation with that was, but, I thought that was nuts. So, but, anywho, see if we can get this back in here without too much trouble. I'm going to try not to take up too much of your time, but let's see if I can fix this one. Oh, come on. Yeah, I don't know why this one's being difficult. I'm sorry. I'm really not trying to waste your time here. But there we go. There we go. There we go. All right. But anyway, so, yeah. So, yeah, I do believe that this is like one of the original, like one of the very first pressings of the record ever put out. So, it's definitely, it's got some history behind it. So, but anyway, let's see if we can, not ready to end the video, but can we sleeve this one? Hopefully we can. Not too much trouble, I'm hoping. Come on. There we go. Thank God. I feel like I'm wasting enough of your time already, but there we go. There we go. So now I finally have the only other Star Wars soundtrack I have in my collection is Phantom Menace. I have that soundtrack. I don't have any of the others, so that's something I definitely want to try to get into as well as some of the Star Wars soundtracks. But anyway, so there we go. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with what I got here. Like I said, I'm gonna have to fix that up a little bit after a while, but anyway, so yeah, I'm very happy. Star Wars. Got Risky Business, we got Stand By Me, we got Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, we got Deadpool Wolverine, we got The Dark Knight, got some Britney, and finally got into my movie collection, The Great Mouse Detective. So man, I think it's a great day. Really great day, an impressive haul. And so that's it. So if any of you took the time to watch this, I thank you for doing it. I appreciate you for doing it. I really hope you enjoyed the movie. If you did, could you please leave it a like and the movie? If you enjoyed the video, could you please leave it a like? And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And that's it. More to come. So yeah, just trying to get the time in to do everything. So take care, everybody. Have a good night. See you all later.